Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I draw the lovely Snow White. We're all familiar with the classic tale told by Disney, but did you guys know where the original story came from? Well, it actually was written in 1812 by two brothers known as the Grimm Brothers. So now I'm a huge fan of the Grimm Brothers' work. They published so many fairy tales, and they were really the sort of stepping stones to the German language. They developed a lot of new German words, and they also created a dictionary. And there's a long, drawn out history in terms of the Brothers Grimm, as well as the dictionary and how the German language developed. But what I'm particularly obsessed with and I absolutely love are the fairy tales that they wrote. And one of these fairy tales was actually known as Snow White. So like I mentioned, the original story was written in 1812, and then it was taken over by Disney in approximately 1937. Now there were a lot of different variations in terms of the storyline. For example, in the Disney version, the dwarfs actually had names and they were singing to Snow White. There was another sort of like change was that the huntsman was asked to bring back Snow White's heart by the queen. But in the original book, the huntsman had to return the lungs and the liver of Snow White. A little bit of a difference here and there. It was, of course, more child friendly as well. So it's pretty interesting. And if you have the chance to read the original, it has been translated into English, so I would highly recommend that because it's quite interesting. We can, of course, dive a little bit deeper in terms of the Snow White story and kind of figure out the inspiration that the Grimm brothers had. This is sort of like a history lesson that I'm getting into, but nevertheless, it's a little bit interesting just to dabble into the origins of the story. So there were a few sort of inspirational sources that have been researched on where Snow White came from and who she was and if the story was real or not. So there was actually a few tales. I won't go into detail, but you can find this on Wikipedia. So just the regular Snow White wiki page. There were at least two girls who were named as a possible source of inspiration for Snow White, one of which was based off of the life of Margaretha von Waldeck, and this was a German countess born in 1533. There was a story that at the age of 16 she was forced by her stepmother to move away to Brussels. She then fell in love with the prince, who would later become Philip II of Spain, and her mother and father disapproved of this relationship, and it was thought that she was poisoned at the age of 21. That was pretty interesting. There was also another case where a scholar found evidence that Snow White could have been a girl by the name of Maria Sophia Margaretha Katharina. She was a baroness born in 1725. And apparently she had, her stepmother had a talking mirror. So this refers to the magic mirror, and I have no idea how back then this was known as the talking mirror, but apparently tales were that this mirror could tell the truth. And you can still view it today at the Spessart Museum in the Lower Castle. This is a town in Bavaria in Germany. And this is where her stepmother lived. So apparently the mirror was a present from her father to his second wife, so the stepmother of Snow White. So this is another aspect or another tale of inspiration that could have been the true Snow White. So it's pretty fascinating just knowing the history and the inspirational sources of the original fairy tales and where things came from and where they got their inspiration. I absolutely go crazy for this. I did have the privilege of seeing the original works of the Grimm brothers when I went to visit Kassel. It is a city in Germany, and this was the city that the Grimm brothers lived for most of their life, and they had their original works. They had all kinds of stuff, original drawings, original works. I was able to see the original story of the Little Red Riding Hood, and it was absolutely inspirational and incredible to see how it was preserved and how they used to do things back then. So I'd like to share this with you guys, and I pretty much kickstarting off a series of fairy tale characters for this new playlist, I guess, I will be doing on YouTube, and the first character is Snow White. So for this drawing, I did stick true to the Disney style because this is the very first style that I was ever introduced to in terms of being a child and watching the Disney films. There's just something really nice about the style, and it kind of feels nostalgic, so I wanted to really kind of pay tribute to that, yeah, the Disney style that we all know. But I did want to add also a touch of darkness because if you do read the Grimm Brothers original fairy tales, you'll notice that there is a lot of sort of darkness behind the truth of the fairy tales. So I wanted to kind of touch base on that in the drawing by doing a dark forested background that is a little bit hazy, a little bit foggy, and it's very just neutral colors with all the different shades of gray. So this was sort of tribute to that. But for the drawing, I used a lot of Copic markers together with the touch twin tips. So primarily the touch twin tips were used for the face, and the only reason why is because I actually don't have skin colors for the Copic markers yet, but they do work fabulously. I absolutely love the touch twin markers, and for the rest of the drawing, I used the Copic Ciao markers. So if you like this video and you like Snow White, please give this a giant thumbs up. Don't forget to comment below as well as subscribe. I will be releasing the next fairy tale princess or the next fairy tale heroine or storybook character. Most likely, I'm not sure what date yet. Either next Tuesday, so I'm thinking that I'm going to be doing sort of like a weekly thing, so every Tuesday I release a speed painting video, but I might be feeling creative this weekend, so I'll probably maybe release it early, not sure yet, we will see, but yeah, stay tuned for the next character from a fairy tale book. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a nice evening.